Theme parks never stand still, that's why we are now going into a news recap for the week 17, 2021. Hey guys, just a quick note. I've launched a Discord server for us. There's just a general channel at the moment, but some specific sub-channels may follow over time to discuss whatever you like to. Link is in the description, feel free to join. New attractions by RES Rides. The ride manufacturer Ride Engineers Switzerland, or RES Rides for short, has presented a new type of roller coaster in its portfolio on its own homepage. This is a water coaster, which reminds a lot of the already known rides from Mack Rides. Boats and track profile of the concept show some parallels. The possibility to equip the coaster with a vertical lift is also advertised. This saves space which would otherwise be needed for classic lift hills. Let's see when and where we will get a first delivery of the new product. Maybe RES will establish itself as a cheaper alternative to Mack Rides for smaller parks. In addition, the manufacturer now offers the Rollerball coaster, which has already been delivered several times, as a double version. In principle, this is a mirrored ride which is placed directly on the backside. The primary target group for this is probably customers for whom the capacity of the single units seem to be too low. It may also be possible to upgrade existing installations as the park grows. Heide Park enforces opening. Only last week I reported on a court ruling in favor of a planned opening of Heide Park and expressed doubts about the actual implementation, as there were still some points that spoke against it. On May 1st, however, the time had come and Heide Park was the only park in Germany to actually open its gates under strict conditions. Under which conditions the opening can be maintained, the next weeks must show. If the incidence in the country increases, it could happen that the park is forced to close. But on the other hand, the protective measures are very strict, because without very recent negative test or vaccination there is no access. In addition, masks and distancing requirements still apply, as well as greatly reduced capacity to a maximum of 50%. With a little luck, the experiment and the pressure of the park on the authorities will end well and will also bring other parks to convince the authorities that an opening can succeed even under such circumstances. Disneyland Anaheim open again after more than a year. California's Disneyland Park also resumed operations on April 30th. The park also celebrates this directly with contributions on its own Twitter account. California is thus one of the last states to allow theme parks to reopen. During the pandemic, California was also for a long time among the most strictly regulated measures in the US. Now it opens up there too, but restricted to only guests who live directly in California. Efteling shows impressions of bakery crumbs. The Dutch Efteling has published in its own blog some pictures and artworks of the new bakery crumbs. This is a gastronomic addition to the area around the family roller coasters Max and Moritz, which opened in the 2020 season. The store, which will revolve around all kinds of sweet pastries, thus completes the design around the new attraction and represents another alternative in Efteling's wide range of food and beverages. Since we are talking about the Efteling here, I probably hardly need to mention that this store is sure to be a real feast for the eyes again as well. That's it for the news recap for the week 17, 2021. If there's enough news, I will bring you a new recap next Sunday. If you want to stay up to date, leave me a like, a sub or a comment, or follow me on my other social media channels.